And we're back with some more Hamilton Tigers franchise mode in FHM 11. And in this one, we have the start of year number 5. And this is the first year for our second overall pick of 2 years ago, Viggo Bjork. We're number 9 there. He's currently at a 3-star ability, 5-star potential. So I am very excited to see how he develops over the course of the next couple of years, especially. Those are going to be key for him. You also have Ryabkin returning for his sophomore season. He had 41 points in 82 games played last year. So looking to build off of that. You have Anton Frundell also in his rookie year. He had 46 points last year in the KHL. It's currently a 2.5-star ability, a 3.5-star potential, so he's looks to have a good future as well. And then, of course, in the last one, we also traded for the young defenseman Sam Dickinson, 2.5-star ability, two-way defenseman. Got some good offensive ratings in there, 17 puck handling, 17 offensive reads, 17 passing. So I think he has the potential to play into this team's future as well. Then, of course, you also have guys who are still not on our roster, such as Eli McCarney here. 1.5-star ability, 4.5-star potential. He's coming along nicely. Then you also have the first overall pick from this past draft, Love Lumborg. Looking pretty good so far. 1-star ability, 4-star potential. We'll see how he grows over the course of the next couple of seasons. And we also have a new head coach in Luke Richardson. So this should be an interesting season. We have a brand new roster. Well, maybe not brand new, but, you know, some new young, fresh faces in here who are supposed to be very good, very skilled, and new coach. Point being, there's a lot to look forward to here in year number 5. So let's get started with the year 5 simulation, and we'll see what October brings us. And there it is. Viggo Bjork's first goal happened against the Cleveland Barons, another expansion team from Philip Messar and Ivan Ryabkin. And that was an 8-0 win as well. All right, we are on November 1st. We're currently 8-11. Not ideal. Last in the Atlantic still. So not off to a great start. Goals for per game, with 32nd in the league with a 2.89. Goals against per game, we are, oh boy, 27th in the league with a 3.63. We're good in something here. Faceoffs were 11th in the league with a 51%. Power play, we're 11th in the league, okay, with a 23.6. I'll take it. And penalty kill, we are 19th in the league with a 78.2. Let's take a look at the player stats here. It looks like we're doing pretty okay in goal, at least for the moment. Seelov's with a 916 save percentage in 10 games played, and Montebo in 11 games played with a 900. I would imagine, or I would hope at least, that Shelov's will get some more starts there. On defense, you have Lundqvist leading the way in points with 9, followed up by Nemitz with 8, 6 for Mosier and Dickinson, 5 for Ferraro, 4 for Sandberg, and 3 for Gleason. So obviously nothing really too impressive on the back end. And at forward, you have Ryabkin leading the way with 16 points. You have 15 for Nadeau, 12 for Bjork, 11 for Frundell, Colton with 10, Newhook with 9, 8 for Messar and Greig, 7 for Kaliev, 5 for Soto, 4 for Savoie, only 4 for Savoie, really. LeBanc and Marchenko with 2. Marchenko only has 3 games played though, so understandable for him. And then Heinen with 1 in 12 games played. So that's a bit concerning from Savoie, only 4 points, especially considering his production for the past 2 seasons, 46 and 63. I mean, it seems like he's getting top 6 time. He's currently on the second line with Colton and Marchenko. Then again, I wouldn't be surprised if Newhook was swapping into the top 6 there every once in a while as well. Although I don't exactly want Newhook taking faceoffs. I don't know why coach has him at center. It should be, Ryabkin should definitely be at center. He got that 17 faceoffs. Savoie should be at center, 15 faceoffs. Colton, I mean, he's got 12 faceoffs, at least better than Newhook. But I mean, Bjork might be worth a shot at center. But I think the top 2 centers should be Savoie and Ryabkin anyway. So yeah, Bjork should probably just stay at wing. I do like Newhook's defensive grade though. He's got a 68 defensive grade. So I don't really exactly want to move on from him. He's a solid defensive player for us. However, I do think we need to upgrade our defensive core somehow, because that's clearly a glaring weakness here. I mean, not that I'm surprised, right? But still, I think if we could trade somebody, like someone on our forward core, to trade for a better defenseman, that might be to our advantage. And I'm thinking I would definitely consider trading Kaliev for the right price. If there was a defenseman out there available who is, say, 25 or younger, and the team who's offering that defenseman needs a winger, then Kaliev would definitely be an option to be traded. So I'm just going to take a look at the trade block here, just see what's out there. Whoa, Evan Bouchard is on the trade block. I mean, I doubt we're getting him. I seriously doubt we're getting him, but he's 29 anyway. I don't think he really fits our window. And besides that, like I said, we would have to pay an arm and a leg for him, despite the fact that he's on the trade block. I mean, it would probably have to be Kaliev, in addition to Savoie, a first, probably actually 2 firsts. We'd have to retain Kaliev's got, oh, okay. I mean, that works, but do I want to do that? Is the question. No, I don't think so. I mean, Bouchard's obviously a good player, but no, I don't want to give up the first round picks to get a player of Bouchard's age. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. And unfortunately, Bouchard is really the only notable defenseman on the trade block here. Yeah, I think I'll check back on the trade block next month. There's really not much catching my eye right now. And if I'm going to overpay for a player, then he better be a player who's going to be on our roster long term, So I think for right now, we'll just go one more month. We'll see what happens in November. But I will stop the simulation in the middle if I don't like what I'm seeing. Ooh, Ridley Greig out for 2-3 weeks. Anyway, we're on December 1st now. 16-16. So we had a pretty solid end to November. We were losing quite a bit in the first half of the month. Lost to Dallas, lost to Houston, win against Vegas, lost against Minnesota. But then you have a win, a loss, a win, a win, a win, a win, a win. So a 5-game winning streak and then a loss against Columbus. So overall, not a bad month. We certainly, I think, made some progress. But I'm not certain we can take that jump to becoming a truly contending team until we can get ourselves a good defenseman to go alongside of Nemetz here, who, I mean, he's getting better. He's certainly gotten better over the course of the time that he's been with us. He has a 67 grade currently overall, 18 points in 32 games played. So Simon Nemetz was a very good waiver pickup from the New Jersey Devils, but we do need someone to go along with him if he's going to have any long-term success there. So I'm going to keep checking the trade block on a regular basis here, just to check if anybody new has been added. Oh boy, this is not pretty. I don't think we have not gotten a single win in December so far. All right, there it is. There's a first win in December, December 21st. Yikes. Yeah. So I guess it pains me to say this. Unfortunately, this team probably just doesn't have it yet. I would have hoped to have seen some better progress by now, but it's just the way things have turned out so far. And it certainly looks like our young players are developing, right? Just not as quickly as we had hoped, as it is still going to, take them some time to come into their own. Viggo Bjork still far from his potential, although he is doing pretty well so far. 28 points in 42 games played, 65 grade. Ryabkin has 32 points in 42 games played, on pace for roughly 60, I would say. Yep, 61 according to the projection. So we're certainly getting better in terms of our young players developing. It's just taking a little bit more time than I would have liked. And I guess that's to be expected. We didn't start with much on our roster in terms of the players that we selected for the expansion draft, at least not in terms of trade value. It's definitely a long building process for this team. I just hope it pays off in the next couple of years here. Ooh, the two best defensemen of the draft are looking kind of a ways away. Ben Patterson seems like he's the closest, but even he might take a few years. Yeah, we're going to have to find something through a trade. I guess we could always hope that we luck out at the first overall pick again and pick Max Melicheric here, as he is the best player available in the draft, at least in terms of potential. But, obviously I was really hoping for something a bit better this season, especially with a new coach, with the new additions of Viggo Bjork and Anton Frundell getting into the lineup. But I guess, we're still in the building process. We're still a little bit young. I'll check the trade block one more time for any defenseman that we might be able to acquire. At the same time, we know we're not trading for Bouchard at this point, given how valuable our first is probably at this point. Yeah, so I guess we'll just advance to probably the trade deadline. We'll see where we are at that point. Oh boy, Viggo Bjork out with an injury 1 to 2 months. You hate to see it. Sprained UCL. Yeah, that's rough. That is rough stuff. Our best prospect getting injured in a season like this. Or I guess I shouldn't call him prospect at this point. He's, he's a roster player, but, best young player. Good news is, though, he did develop quite a bit in the development report. Plus speed, plus bravery, plus puck handling, and plus faceoffs. So he continues to improve. And it's looking like he'll be a real good start for us before long. All right, Viggo Bjork is finally back from his injury. But unfortunately, we are currently 25, 29, and 5. Good enough for 8th in the Atlantic currently. And so it seems our hopes for the playoffs this year are all but lost at this point. I mean, not that there was really any doubt after that horrid, I think it was December that we had. Yeah, we didn't win until December 21st. So that losing streak right there basically sealed our fate this season. But still, I would like to build these guys' confidence as much as we can. Like a lot of these guys are still young. Ryabkin, Bjork, this will help build their confidence in situations like this, right? It's good for building character to continue a winning mindset even when you're losing, right? And I know sometimes we can stray from that. Like it's easy to derail from having a winning mindset when you're losing this much, right? But, I think if our guys can just persevere through this and continue a winning mindset while we're in the process of still building up our roster, then I think we'll be all the better for it in the future. Because at that point, we'll have proven to ourselves that we, are capable of getting through a lot of the trials that are necessary to get to the Stanley Cup, right? So with that being said, I think I'll take one more look at the trade block before we advance to the trade deadline. Yeah, not really much there, unfortunately. All right, we're here at the trade deadline, currently 26, 34, and 7. Pretty clear we are not doing anything this season except looking for that first overall pick. In goal, we're actually looking really good, especially with Seelov's 34 games played, 924 save percentage. He's been phenomenal this season. So glad I took a chance on him, as he has not played in the NHL since the 2023-24 season with the Vancouver Canucks. So possibly a future starter. We'll have to see if he can keep consistent with that from year to year. On defense, you have Nemeth with 36 points, leads the charge. Then you have Lundqvist with 33, 21 for Dickinson, 17 for Mosier and Ferraro, 13 for Gleason, and 8 for Sandberg. Then at forward, you have Ryabkin leading the way with 48 points. Then you have Kaliev with 44, Nadeau with 40, 35 for Bjork in 54 games played, 33 for Marchenko and Newhook, 29 for Savoie, 28 for Colton, 24 for Frondel, 21 for Greig and Messar, 10 for LeBanc, 8 for Soto, and 7 for Heinen. Ooh, this isn't a defenseman, but Victor Eklund is on the trade block for Tampa Bay. 22 years of age, 3-star ability, 3.5-star potential. He's looking pretty good, and he's currently in Syracuse for some reason. It's not like he wasn't doing well. He had 22 points in 45 games played, 66 grade. I don't know why he was sent down. That's a really good player, but nonetheless, he is on their trade block, so I would not be opposed to offering a trade for Victor Eklund there. But let's keep looking around just in case there's a defenseman that we really want. Unfortunately, I could not find any defenseman of interest on the trade block, but there is that player from Tampa who I want to take another look at. He looks pretty good. I don't know why they sent him down. I really have no idea why they sent him down. Hold on, let's take a look at their roster makeup here. Yeah, I genuinely have no idea why they sent him down. I mean, it's not my problem, but still, it's puzzling. Let's see his personality. Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's going to be causing any locker room issues there. Overall, some pretty good ratings there. Let's take a look at his in-depth stats. Let's see what he does. 61 hits in how many games? 45. Yeah, he's a hitter. Yeah, I'm not sure why Tampa sent him down. I gotta be honest, I am not sure. But you know what? I'm gonna take advantage of that. So let's see what Tampa would be willing to take here. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. First off, I have offered a contract extension to Mario Ferraro for another 3 years, as he has been very good for us. Rock solid, 78 defensive grade, even on this team. So I think he deserves to stick around here for a little while, despite the fact that he is 30 years old. And in order to acquire Victor Eklund, we will be sending to Tampa the rights to Simon Edvinsson, who is 26 years of age, 2.5-star ability, not signed. He was on our team last year, but we never re-signed him, so an expendable asset. And we're also going to be sending Jonathan Winter, a recent draft pick, who, you know, it's going to be a bit of a project. So he's not going to be ready anytime soon. And by the time he's ready, I would imagine we're going to be, you know, competing for cups. So we'll be sending him the other way in this deal, alongside a 2nd-round pick and a 3rd for this year. And you know, it looks like Eklund's got a promising future ahead of him. I don't know why Tampa sent him down. He's already a 3-star ability at 22 years of age. He was doing well with the point scoring. A solid 66 grade. He looks like a gem to me. So paying the price of the rights to Edvinsson, Jonathan Winter, a 2nd and a 3rd should be more than worth it. Offer trade finalized. There it is. So welcome to the Hamilton Tigers, Victor Eklund. And now with that, we're obviously gonna have to move out one of our forwards. So we will be doing just that. To the St. Louis Blues will be Philip Messar. I put him on the trade block just earlier, as he is asking for, as we go to the transaction screen, he is asking for on his contract extension 4.3 for 3 years. I'm not willing to give that to him. He is not all too impressive, to be honest. And he's not really good at face-offs. He doesn't hit. So yeah, not really the kind of player I want to re-sign. So as far as forwards go, I would consider him an odd man out. And we will be getting a 2nd back in return. So recouping that 2nd that we traded for Eklund. So it'll be Messar for a 2nd from the St. Louis Blues. Offer trade finalized. There it is. I do want to see what I could possibly get for Colton. So I'll shop him and see what we could get as far as picks go. Nothing. All right, that's fine. So, you know, I think it'd just be better to just hold on to Colton at this point. I'll move him from the trade block. So it's certainly unfortunate that we couldn't acquire any defensemen this year. There was just none that were available, at least none of interest. But you know what? I think we are getting better. And of course, with the acquisition of Mr. Victor Eklund, we're only getting that much younger, and we shall see what he is about. So overall, I like the direction that this team is heading in terms of getting young players and building up what will hopefully make up our core identity in the future. But for right now, it looks like we're just gonna have to wait for our defensive prospects such as Love Lundborg to grow and be NHL ready. Had a decent year so far, 19 points in 37 games for him, 68 grade. But obviously I would say Lundborg is still a year or two away, and I don't know if I want to wait that long to be a competitive team. So we definitely have to, I guess, just hope that someone is out there in free agency who is at least relatively young, like 25 or 26, who could help us for not only now but the future as well. And let me tell you, it's a good thing we got Nemeth. It's a really good thing that we picked up Simone Nemeth off of waivers from the New Jersey Devils. Otherwise our defensive core would be looking pretty rough right now. So you know what, maybe we could get lucky. Maybe we could pick up another player like Nemeth off of waivers. I mean, there are usually players that go on waivers after the trade deadline anyway, so let's see what happens as we simulate past the trade deadline. There's a few players on waivers. Vsevolod Komarov is the only defenseman, not really too interesting. Yeah, this is rough stuff. This is rough stuff. We finished the season 29, 45, and 8. Good enough for 9th in the Atlantic and 33rd in the league. Oh, man. That was rough. I mean, I wasn't expecting us to make the playoffs this year, to be honest, but I was at least expecting an improvement off of last year. And unfortunately, it does not seem that was the case. In fact, we had one less win than we did last season, around the same amount of points. One thing is for certain, though, for this offseason, we need to prioritize getting a young defenseman, or either that or a defenseman who's just heading into his prime, you know, like 25, 26, who can help us out not only now, but over the course of the next 5 to 10 years. Because obviously, Nemeth can't do this alone. And I mean, Lundqvist is pretty good, but after him, it kind of drops off. And then Lundborg still a ways away. So we really need to, I think, be aggressive this offseason when it comes to acquiring some good defensemen. But obviously, it's got to be the right kind of defenseman, right? I don't want to just go signing a defenseman who's 29, 30, because they're not going to really be sticking around for too long, I wouldn't imagine. So if the kind of defenseman I'm looking for isn't out there, then oh well. But, you know, we really, if there's someone out there who is matching the description of what I'm talking about, a younger defenseman or at least someone heading into his prime, then we really need to consider what our options would be to acquire him. And if that means trading someone like Marchenko and Kaliev, then yeah, I will do it. I will definitely do it. I mean, we need defense in a pretty bad way. I mean, obviously there are some guys that are going to be completely off the table when it comes to trade negotiations. Obviously Bjork is one of those guys, Ryabkin as well. But there are very few guys who I wouldn't entertain for a trade like that. Anyway, let's take a look at the end of the season stats here. You have Shilovs in 41 games played with a 922 save percentage. Kind of wonder why coach didn't play him more than Montebo in 48 games played, who had an 899. So Montebo, I would say we're going to drop going into this offseason. It's 2 subpar seasons in a row. On defense, you have Lundqvist leading the way with 44 points. Nemeth following with 43. Then you have Dickinson with 27, 21 for Ferraro, 20 for Mosier, 16 for Gleason, and 8 for Sandberg. And at forward, you have Ryabkin leading the way with 54 points. Then you have Kaliev with 49, Bjork with 43 and 69 games played, so he has a good rookie season there. Wouldn't be surprised if we see him up for the Calder nominee. Then you have Olivier Nadeau with 42, Marchenko with 41, Newhook also with 41, Colton with 34, Savoie with 32, Frundell with 28, so that's a decent rookie season for him. Looks like he switched over to center there. They have Eklund with 27 in 60 games, 5 points with us in 15 games played. They have Greig with 27 and 10 for LeBanc and Soto and 8 for Heinen. Now let's take a look at the players that need to be resigned. You have Gleason, Mosier, LeBanc, Heinen, and Soto. I will offer Soto for sure, but everybody else I think I'll release. And your 2028-29 Stanley Cup champions are the Dallas Stars. This is their 4th championship, their last one in 2026. Playoff winning goals scored by Justin Ertel. They went through Nashville, Seattle, St. Louis, and New Jersey. So another rematch involving New Jersey, except this time with the Dallas Stars coming out on top, as that is a rematch from 2000, I believe. So there you go. The Dallas Stars are your Stanley Cup champions. So now I think we'll make our way to the awards and then we'll end things off. And here we are at the NHL awards. For the Ted Lindsay, you have Leon Draisaitl, who had 43 goals and 69 assists for 112 points this year. The Art Ross goes to Trevor Zegras, who led the league with 120 points. Then for the Maurice Richard, you have Mikko Rantanen, who's on the Rangers now, with 55 goals and 114 points. For the Lady Byng, you have Cole Caulfield with a 104-point season. Then for the Bill Masterton, you have Nikita Kucherov at 36 years of age, still killing it with that 63-point season. And for the Mark Messier Leadership Award, you have Mikey Birchchild of Columbus, the 21-year-old, who had 20 points this season in his rookie campaign in 73 games played, 61 grade. Is he a captain, I wonder? No, Slavin is the captain there, followed by Johnson and Fantilli as the alternates. So got a trend of non-captains being selected for the Mark Messier Leadership Award. Then you have the Jennings Trophy going to Tyler Brennan of New Jersey, who had a .918 save percentage in 69 games played. For the heart between Zegras, Draisaitl, and McDavid, it is Draisaitl. For the Conn Smythe, you have Jack Hughes with 38 points in 24 games played. So Jack Hughes, despite losing in the Stanley Cup Final, gets it for a second year in a row. For the Calder between Dmitry Bucheldnikov, Vigo Bjork, and Jake O'Brien. Come on, Vigo. Jake O'Brien gets it for Calgary. 56 points in 82 games played. Gotta wonder if Vigo Bjork might have gotten that if he had a full season under his belt. Yeah, I believe he only had, 67 games played? No, 69 games played with that 43 points there. So that's a bit unfortunate, but oh well, what are you going to do? Norris Trophy between Roman Josi, Quinn Hughes, and Mikhail Gulyayev. It is Roman Josi with 100 points on the season. My goodness, 39 years of age. Wow, he is still killing it. Even in the twilight of his career, he is absolutely dominating still for Nashville. Wow. That is very impressive. Seems like he's only getting better with age. Age is only a number apparently for him. And for the Selke Trophy between John Beecher, Sampo Ranta, and Alexander Barkov, it is John Beecher of Anaheim with 32 points in 82 games played. For the Vezina between Jake Oettinger, Tyler Brennan, and Ilya Sorokin, it is Tyler Brennan with a .918 save percentage, 8 shutouts in 69 games played. For the GM of the Year between Tom Fitzgerald, Daniel Briere, and Bill Scott, it is Daniel Briere of the Rangers. For the Jack Adams between John Hines, Nicholas Backstrom, and Sheldon Keefe, it is Sheldon Keefe of New Jersey. So before we end things off, let's just take a look at the signing deadlines and see what prospects we need to sign. You have Murka, Kaklier, Horiachka, Hayden, and Gastrin all expiring this year. Yeah, I'll sign all of them. They all have pretty decent potential. Now, what to do about Stenberg and Lundborg? I would say one more year for Lundborg, then he'll probably be ready to come over. As for Stenberg, certainly looks like he's hit a point where he is capable of coming over, and he's 21 already, so I don't want to wait too long. Yeah, I guess we'll bring Stenberg over. And here's the season summary for 2028-29. We got no positive categories again. We got all the negative categories except for win percentage lower than 400. We got a longevity bonus of 4, meaning our total season score is 7, total career score of 40 so far. We got 1 point, so put it into negotiating. And you know what? We may as well just see who's available in free agency before we end things off here. Oh, looks like we're gonna have to find a new coach. John Stevens has retired, so we're gonna need a new defensive coach there. And the only one who fits my criteria is Todd Richards. Unfortunately, he's getting up there in age himself, 62, so he's probably going to retire pretty soon as well, but he'll do for now. So there you go, Todd Richards, the new defensive coach. Not sure for how long, but at least for this year. All right, now let's check out free agency. Let's see what's out there. Not much in the way of defensemen, it doesn't look like. Yeah, there's Ty Smith, Thomas Harley, Jeremy Poirier, Riley Walsh, William Tripp. That is about it. Oh man, that is a rough free agent pool for defensemen here. I mean, Smith's not all that bad considering his point total from last year, 56 points with Carolina. Then Thomas Harley is pretty solid as well. He, of course, just won the cup with Dallas. Yeah, 72 grade, 33 points. Yeah, actually, I might want to go after Harley. He's only 27 as well, but looks like he's asking for a lot. Yeah, 7.1 for 7 years. That's a lot. But you know what? Just given the state of our defensive core, that's something I think I'd be willing to do. I would prefer not to sign him for 7 years, though, if we can avoid it. Maybe somewhere like 5 or 6 years would be better if we can do that. But we're not going to do that right now as it's been a pretty long episode already. So I'll end things off here. And the next one, we will start the offseason of year number 5.